Hello everyone, I'm Michael Mando. I play Voss in Far Cry 3 and you're now watching Platform 32.
My name is Daniel Berlin. I'm a game designer working on Far Cry 3 and you're watching Platform 32.
Ah, Daniel Berlin, we meet again. Last time I bumped into Daniel, it was at an exclusive unveiling of Far Cry 3's multiplayer portion. During that event, I was told there was a secret, unannounced multiplayer game mode. My guess was a version of Horde where you had to fend off drug-addled islanders, while others guessed that there would be a revival of the Predator mode from Far Cry Instincts. We were all proved wrong during this year's E3 though, when the producer of Far Cry 3, Dan Hay, unleashed the beast at Ubisoft's press conference.
Developed by Ubisoft Massive in Sweden for the first time in franchise history, drop into a new kind of insanity. 4-player co-op.
Come on then, Daniel, you've been keeping quiet about it for so long now. Tell us everything!
It's campaign based. You basically go through a certain amount of levels. So I mean, it's also all about the team play. So like what you talked about with the multiplayer before, we're also bringing all those team play interactions into co-op. So the battle cries are there, the taggings are there, everyone can revive everyone, and not only the team play actions that you can do, but also the mission structure that we built within the game. We want to encourage co-op. So the mission objectives are going to be like, okay, one guy needs to carry the explosives, but he can't shoot and he can't run while he carries the explosives. So it's encouraged that another player comes in and like kind of escorts him as he does that. So we kind of have multi-layered kind of co-op, really pushing the team play. That's what we really want to do. So I mean, the game itself, Far Cry as a package, is just totally huge.
And what about the level editor? Will we be able to use that to create our own co-op missions?
The level editor is restricted to the basically player versus player. The multiplayer, yes, so it's not going to be for co-op.
Earlier on, when Daniel said the 4-player co-op was campaign-based, he didn't mean the main story about Jason Brody versus Voss can be played through with 4 players. Nuh-uh! Ubisoft Massive have developed an independent storyline which is set a few months before the single-player game, so it's basically a whole new campaign set aside just for co-op. Featuring the chaps and chapess you can see in this CGI trailer, the story revolves around these 4 anti-heroes who find themselves on Voss's island while fighting tooth and nail to get revenge against a backstabbing ship captain. Each character has a very dark backstory and a comical stereotypical accent.
Just when we are doing right, pirates come and try and fuck up chances of ever having new lives.
From the looks of the trailer, it's almost like a cross between Kane and Lynch 2 and Left 4 Dead, but without the zombies, or the full frontal male nudity. So maybe it's not like that at all. Yeah, whatever. After speaking to Daniel, I jumped onto the demo stations behind him and played through one of the missions to find out for myself just what the co-op mode is all about. The level I played was one of 6 which will appear in the main game, and it followed a set linear narrative rather than being open world like the main campaign. There are 4 difficulty levels to choose from and also a host of leaderboards to check out after you have finished, so you can compete against your friends as well as work with them. Before you start, you pick a character and a loadout. There was no noticeable difference between how each character played, but you can choose a custom loadout before you start so you can tailor your weapons to your playstyle. It's worth noting that weapons, attachments, skills and battle cries can all be unlocked in co-op as well as in multiplayer, so playing them will give you XP and add to your progression, and that progression will carry on through both. Whatever you unlock in multiplayer can also be used in co-op and vice versa. We launched the game as 4 players, each playing on a separate monitor, but were told that you can also play 2-player split screen on the PC, PS3 and Xbox 360, which is always a bonus for those peeps who have to share a console. The main objectives for the level were to repair and move a train which was blocking a tunnel, and to lay explosives on a bridge and then detonate them, all while being attacked by hordes of enemies. According to Daniel, these enemies will always spawn randomly, so no mission will ever play the same, which will add to the replay value. There was also a break in the main mission where all 4 players went head to head in a sniping competition, taking out pirates from a distance, the winner being the person who killed the most bad guys within the set time limit. During the demo we were attacked by various enemies, from the basic foot soldiers and crazy melee dudes who could kill you with one hit, to heavy soldiers kitted out with body armour and even slobbering guard dogs. The action was pretty much relentless, and due to the noise of the convention it was hard to communicate with the other players, but we still managed to make it through and complete the mission. I had fun with the demo, but I don't think I played it in the best location to form a solid opinion on it. Played in a quiet room with friends rather than a packed convention hall with strangers would have made the demo feel more personal, but as such I felt I didn't get to experience the true team play aspect the way Ubisoft Massive had intended. Basically because I couldn't communicate with the other players properly, rendering teamwork obsolete. Either way, I could tell that the co-op mode needed more polish. There were some pretty bad graphical glitches at times, and the enemies often acted like bullet sponges despite the majority being basically unarmoured dudes in shorts and vests. I have also been hearing complaints about oversensitive controls in the demo and that the aiming was a bit off, but before we started I was told by Daniel to reduce the input sensitivity by 4 in the controller options menu. This made the game control perfectly for me, so it must be an issue that Ubisoft are aware of, and I can't see it not being sorted in time for release. I left the booth hoping that the storyline for the co-op will be just as compelling as the main campaign, because although it was a lot of fun to play, I couldn't help but think that these will be kind of throwaway missions, ones which you'll do for achievements or trophies before returning to the normal multiplayer mode once you've completed each mission a couple of times. Even with all the competitive aspects built in to encourage multiple replays, a solid, exciting storyline would definitely make me come back for more. The fact that Ubisoft have crammed basically an extra game onto the disc is pretty awesome though, and with each of the 6 co-op missions lasting between 45 minutes and an hour depending on the difficulty level, this will give players a huge amount of value for money when the game finally releases in the UK on November the 30th, which is like 4 days before America gets it. Sweet!
You are me!